9 places women hide their affair partner's name in their phone psychology tricks. Trust but verify. Russian proverb, popularized by Ronald Reagan. If her phone lit up on the table right now, could you bet real money you know who's on the other end? Or are you betting on assumptions? Here's what most men miss. When someone wants to protect an affair, they rarely erase the number, they rebrand it. That's a classic psychology play. Camouflage works by borrowing authority and routine. Job titles, family labels, medical contacts, or utility-style names lower your suspicion. Duplicate entries, alternate spellings, and app-specific aliases add plausible deniability. While you're enjoying a comfortable piece, she could be running a parallel conversation in plain sight. That false sense of security is expensive. It can cost you months, sometimes years, of being quietly played. In a moment, I'm going to walk you through 9 specific places women often hide an affair partner's name in their phone, and the simple mind tricks behind each one: authority cover, pattern interruption, and confirmation bias bait. Quick gut check first. Some men think trust means never looking. Others think trust is proved by transparency. Where do you land? If straight talk like this helps you protect your peace, hit subscribe and drop a like. Then tell me in the comments, is checking a partner's phone fair accountability or a hard line you won't cross? I want to see where men draw the boundary, because those lines aren't the same for everyone. All right, let's open the contacts and read between the lines. First, work contact camouflage. The oldest trick in the modern playbook, and it works because work feels sacred and safe. That is the blind spot. You see Mike, IT support, or David, client services, and your brain nods because you've been trained for decades to respect anything that sounds like a deadline, a ticket number, or a calendar ping. Don't underestimate how that framing plays you. Be honest. You've pulled late nights, answered pings after dinner, and sacrificed weekends. So when she says she's messaging about the QF rollout at 11 p.m., your empathy jumps the fence and opens the gate. This is where simple psychology tricks meet everyday routines and become invisible. She takes a real name, say Ryan, and graphs on a corporate costume: Ryan, regional manager; Ryan, marketing consultant, sometimes even a full-blown phantom employer like Mike Tech Solutions, Inc., or David Marketing Plus, LLC. That is the beauty of the cover. It borrows legitimacy you already believe in. You must remember how female psychology uses context as camouflage. Not malicious science, just smooth social engineering. The label reads, work, so you don't look inside the box. Don't let the suit and tie fool you. The signals are there if you watch the clock instead of the contact card. Late night spreadsheet emergencies that never happen at 2 p.m., but magically erupt after dinner. Calls that require a quick step outside exactly when a show gets good or when you enter the room. Messages with jargon so generic it could mean anything. Client pushback, vendor delay, numbers aren't syncing. Be calm. Patterns talk. Single events whisper. Ask yourself the simple, practical questions a seasoned manager would ask. Do these colleagues ever appear in real work settings? Emails from a company domain? Actual calendar invites? A real LinkedIn footprint? Or do they live only in her private phone universe? Does the supposed firm have a website that loads, a physical address, a tax record, a leadership page, a real history? Or is it all smoke and serif fonts? Don't accuse, audit. That is how you separate noise from signal. When a contact's name carries a title but never a traceable trail, you're not paranoid for noticing. You're competent. And competence beats confrontation. Be curious, not combative. Say less, observe more. Jot down times. Notice the cadence. Is it always the same window, post-dinner, commute, Saturday morning when you run errands? Do the urgent texts go silent on federal holidays or pop off during events where she knows you're distracted? These are not gotchas, they're rhythm checks. Remember, psychology tricks thrive in routine. In one case, a technical services guy I'll call Mark watched Tom accounting pop up only at night. Never during her company's stated business hours. He didn't snoop, he compared patterns. He looked for Tom on the organization chart. Nothing. Checked the company's people page. Nothing. Even the email signature she once flashed didn't match the firm's real format. That is where the thread began to pull, and the sweater unraveled. What hurt him most wasn't the betrayal. It was how easily the trust reflex around work had been used like a lever. Don't let your sense of duty become a handle. Be methodical. If a contact is supposedly a vendor, ask casually what they supply, how long they've been under contract, who manages the relationship, and where the invoices live. If she can't sketch a believable outline, timeline, team, deliverable, note it. You must test, not trap. A neutral, who is Ryan on the project, beats a loaded, who is Ryan really, every time. Great covers don't break when you push once, they sag when you press steadily. And here's a truth with teeth. If her phone looks like LinkedIn exploded but none of those companies exist beyond her contact list, you're staring at a costume rack, not a Rolodex. Don't storm in, don't give her a clean villain and an easy counterpunch. Be steady. Cross-check names with public info, not private messages. Verify that her client has a real domain and a consistent email format. Notice if Ryan Regional only ever calls from a rotating set of numbers, never a switchboard or extension. That is not proof. That is probability gaining weight. And while you're doing this, keep your own center. A lot of men study how to fall in love and forget how to protect their peace. Real awareness is part of how to fall in love and stay there. Understanding female psychology isn't about suspicion for sport. It's about reading context correctly so your kindness isn't a liability. Use clean, everyday tools, public records, business listings, simple questions, rather than emotional grenades. Don't chase every ping, log the pattern. Be the adult in the room. When you've seen enough, you'll know. You won't need fireworks. You'll have a timeline. And if everything checks out, breathe and move on. False alarms happen. But if Tom, accounting, only exists after dusk, David, client services can't be found anywhere except your living room, and the vendor has a blank trail, that is a cover story, not a career. You must choose clarity over chaos. In the end, psychology tricks stop working when you stop honoring the disguise. Learn the rhythms, spot the gaps, and guard your heart. That's not cynicism, that's care. It's the practical side of female psychology and the smarter version of how to fall in love, eyes open, shoulders relaxed, standards intact. Second, existing contact modification. Don't confuse simple with safe. Work camouflage is just the opening move. This one cuts closer to the bone. It weaponizes your deepest trust. Family. Here's the play, subtle, chilling, effective. She doesn't invent a fake company. She buries him inside the people you'd never question, her mom, her sister, even your brother. That is the genius of the disguise. Family is sacred, right? Wrong. Family can be the perfect mask. All it takes is one quiet tweak. She opens her mom's contact, scrolls down, adds another number. That's it. Suddenly, mom has two lines, one real, one routed straight to her affair partner. Every call, every text, gliding past you draped in innocence. It gets darker. I've seen cases where his number is saved under your dad's name or your brother's. Imagine the psychological warfare. You see Mike, your brother, lighting up her screen. No alarm bells, no jealousy, just trust. But the Mike calling isn't family at all. He's a lover. That isn't just deception. That is your loyalty being turned against you. This trick exploits three powerful psychology levers. 1. Sacred labeling. Family names carry diplomatic immunity. You police yourself before you ever police her. 2. Normalcy bias. If you've never questioned mom, you won't start now, especially when it seems rude or paranoid. 3. Self-gaslighting. You think, I must be crazy for suspecting family. She counts on that sentence to silence your instincts. Let me tell you about Jason. He was 39, dating a woman he believed was loyal. One night, he noticed her phone showed mom calling twice in the same hour. Odd, not impossible, until he realized mom had two numbers saved. The next time the phone rang, Jason answered. And it wasn't her mother, it was a man. A man who thought he was calling his girlfriend. That single slip exposed months of deceit. Jason told me later the betrayal hurt worse than the act itself. Not just cheating, humiliation. His trust in family had been hijacked. So, how do you protect yourself without turning into a detective who's lost his soul? Be observant, not obsessive. Start with patterns, not accusations. Timing tells. If mom or sis suddenly needs nightly talks at 10 p.m., that's not maternal warmth, that's suspicious timing. Note the clock, note the frequency. Communication mismatch. Does dad send flirty length paragraphs at midnight yet barely texts in real life? That is off brand. Family consistency matters. Presence versus pings. Does the sister blow up the phone but never materialize for coffee, birthdays, or hospital visits? Digital intimacy without real-world presence is a red flag. Two-number trick. Scan for duplicate family contacts or saved other numbers under the same name. Silent duplication is the giveaway. Don't accuse blindly. Don't march in saying, I know that's not your mom. She'll flip the frame and make you the unstable one. Instead, verify quietly. Call the number yourself when it's safe. Cross-check with the actual family member if you can. The truth doesn't need shouting. It reveals itself quietly if you're patient enough to watch. You must keep your center. A high-value man doesn't panic. He investigates with calm, sets boundaries with clarity, and decides with strength. That is how you attract women who respect you and repel those who would play you. Guard your masculine energy by refusing to fight dirty or guess wildly. Facts over feelings, evidence over ego. Use a simple verification playbook. 1. Capture the pattern. Dates, times, durations. Short notes only. No essays. 2. Cross-verify. If you know the real family number, compare it. When uncertain, dial from a blocked line once. Do not repeat. 3. Context check. If mom calls at 10 p.m., ask later, how's your mom? Everything okay? Listen for details. Vague stories repeat. Truth varies because real life is messy. Lies are oddly consistent. 4. Boundary talk. When you have enough, be direct. I'm seeing duplicate numbers under family contacts. That violates trust. We fix this now or we end this now. Short, firm, no drama. Be warned. If someone hides behind their own mother's name, or worse, behind yours, that is not a mistake. That is strategy. It's manipulation at its coldest. Still, don't turn the world into suspects. Most families are exactly what they seem: flawed, loving, ordinary. This guidance isn't for witch hunts. It's for men who need a map when the ground starts shifting. Remember the principle: family contacts are psychologically untouchable. That's exactly why the camouflage works. But you're not powerless. Be the man who notices. Be the man who verifies. Be the man who acts. Protect your peace. Keep your standards. A high-value man with steady masculine energy doesn't chase chaos. He chooses clarity. Do that, and you naturally attract women who meet you with honesty, or you exit fast when they don't. Don't ignore the mask just because it says mom. Don't surrender your instincts to politeness. You must defend your trust calmly, cleanly, decisively. That is how you win the quiet battles where loyalty lives or dies. Third, app-based invisibility. Don't underestimate it, because in today's digital jungle, this is where deception thrives. Don't be fooled by a clean contact list. That's only the surface. The real danger lurks inside WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, and Instagram DMs. A hidden world where her affair partner exists like a ghost, invisible in the phone book, absent in the call logs, but alive, active, breathing in the apps. And here's the brutal truth: these apps are designed to hide. Disappearing messages, secret chats, auto-delete functions. You don't have to erase the evidence if the evidence erases itself. That's how entire relationships can grow in plain sight while you sit 2 feet away on the couch. As Seneca, one of the old Stoic masters, declared, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Don't wait for luck, prepare. Don't assume innocence, verify. If you notice constant notifications at odd hours, if she flips screens when you walk in, if messages arrive like clockwork from apps you don't share, that's not nothing. That's a pattern. And patterns are louder than excuses. Paul, a 52-year-old husband, learned it the hard way. His wife's phone book was spotless, but Telegram told the story. Danny from gym, not a trainer, but a secret partner, whispering intimacy behind encrypted walls. That's not just betrayal, that's a double life. Marcus Aurelius warned in Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Don't explode in anger the first time you suspect. Don't play the rookie. Anger makes you look paranoid, and she'll flip the script to paint you as the controlling one. Instead, sharpen your perception. Observe without warning. Notice the rhythm, the times, the frequency. Build your case in silence. Because a man with an iron mind wins twice. Once by mastering himself, and once by mastering the situation. This is Stoicism win. This is old Stoic wisdom applied to modern warfare of relationships. Don't let technology blindside you. Let it sharpen you. In a world of vanishing messages, you must be the one who doesn't vanish, who stands tall, unshaken. Don't crumble. Don't stutter. Don't guess. Decide. Take control. Recognize that her phone is not clean. It is compartmentalized. One surface for you, one underground for him. That is the reality. And reality is your weapon. The man who sees clearly cannot be deceived for long. The man who trains his perception has already won half the battle. Let's be clear. The apps are her shield, but your awareness is your sword. Use it. Cut through the illusion. Build an iron mind, and you will not only uncover the truth, you will rise above it. Because in life, just like in battle, the victory belongs not to the loudest, but to the most disciplined. And that discipline is yours if you claim it. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Be that master, be unshakable, be victorious. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that like button, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. Positive affirmation to comment. To lock this lesson into your mind and interact with the channel, comment below. I see beyond the surface. Fourth, the emergency contact trick. Don't blink here, because this is where a clever mask turns into a near-perfect alibi. And if that sounds dramatic, good, because it is. You're not just up against a secret number, you're up against the social authority of medicine, and that is why men miss it. The name Dr. Martinez or cardiology clinic shows up and your brain defaults to respect, concern, and silence, which is exactly how these psychology tricks slip past your guard. You see a white coat, you see ICE in case of emergency, you see pediatrician office, and you do what you were trained to do since boyhood: stand down, be polite, don't question, which is precisely how a partner can stash a lover in the safest vault on the phone. The emergency list, where you'd look insane for even asking. Here's the play. She saves the affair partner under a doctor's title or the official emergency tag, so late night calls and quick appointment updates feel normal, and texts like running late, call me, read like scheduling, not flirting. That is the power move. Wear the lab coat and borrow immunity. Don't mistake this for clumsiness. It's strategy, and it thrives in the shadows of female psychology where authority neutralizes suspicion. So if you're serious about protecting yourself, you must learn the difference between real readiness and rehearsed theater. Be alert to the telltales. Calls outside clinic hours, doctors who text with emojis, offices that reply on Sundays, a contact photo that isn't a logo but a cropped car selfie, voicemail that never identifies the practice, a number that fails to match the clinic website, or a pediatrician who somehow discusses marketing deadlines. These aren't quirks. These are psychology tricks designed to make you feel guilty for noticing. Steve, 41, learned the hard way. A chirpy, good morning, beautiful, slid onto the screen under Dr. Martinez, and he gaslit himself on the spot. Maybe it's an office joke. Maybe an assistant typed it. Maybe he's reading into nothing. Weeks later, a simple return call at lunchtime exposed the costume. No doctor, just another man who'd been upgraded to emergency status. Don't let that be you. Be calm, not combative. You must verify, not vibe check. Call back at neutral hours. Ask for the business name and extension. Cross-check the number on Google, on the insurer's provider directory, on the clinic's contact page, even on Apple Maps. That is basic diligence, not paranoia. If the story is real, it will stand. If it's theater, the props fall. Ask yourself simple consistency questions. Why would an emergency contact text her daily non-emergencies? Why would a cardiologist send you up at 12 p.m.? Why would an office schedule coffee to discuss options on a Saturday at a wine bar? Don't rationalize the irrational. Remember, understanding female psychology isn't about control. It's about clarity, how trust is earned, how boundaries are kept, how to fall in love without walking blind. Yes, there are kind, competent doctors who text. Yes, life is messy. But a pattern of secrecy is not medicine. It's manipulation. Be firm with your standards. You must expect transparency around anyone labeled as emergency, because that person, by definition, outranks you in crisis access. If she's willing to hide a man inside the most sacred folder on her phone, you're not dealing with privacy anymore. You're dealing with premeditated deception, built aliases, curated backstories, and a ready-made defense that shames you for asking. Don't accept shame where there should be truth. Set a clear line. Emergency contacts are shared, verified, and limited to real emergencies, and then watch the reaction. Honest partners cooperate, performers deflect. That is the test. If she accuses you of being controlling for requesting a clinic's main line, ask for a simple three-way call to the office. Real professionals won't mind confirming their identity. If the number forwards to Marcus in a hoodie, case closed. Be wise, not wounded. Study female psychology to understand why the lab coat halo works, and study your own boundaries so you don't outsource your judgment to a ringtone. This isn't about paranoia, it's about pattern recognition. The same pattern that every How to Fall in Love guide praises in reverse. Openness, consistency, daylight. Deception is the opposite of How to Fall in Love. Secrecy, inconsistency, midnight. Don't argue with the surface story. Verify the source. You must believe behavior more than titles. When a man in her life wears the mask of a doctor, you're not her partner, you're her patient, and the treatment plan is confusion. Opt out. Protect your peace. And if you choose to rebuild, do it with sunlight, not costumes, because real love never needs a stethoscope to answer a simple call. Fifth, social media cross-platform hiding. Gentlemen, let's not sugarcoat this. If the emergency contact trick felt manipulative, then this one is downright ruthless. Because now, she doesn't just borrow credibility from professionals, she creates a whole other world where you don't even exist. That world? Social media, Instagram DMS, Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, TikTok inboxes. These aren't just apps, they're playgrounds of secrecy. A place where entire relationships bloom in plain sight, yet remain completely invisible to you. Why social media works so well? You're probably still thinking in terms of call logs and text messages. That's your battlefield. But she's shifted the war to likes, vanishing stories, and disappearing DMs. And here's the punchline. You don't check them. Why? Because you tell yourself, that's for kids. I don't have time for that nonsense. But while you dismiss it, she thrives in it. On social media, the mask isn't just a fake name, it's a fake identity. David from Client Services transforms into Daniel Fit 92, Mike Travel Guy, or Art Lover 88. Innocent-looking handles tied to hobbies, fitness, or travel. But behind them is a private communication line, a digital tunnel. She can chat with him daily, send photos, coordinate meetups, and his number never shows up in her phone. To you, she's just scrolling fitness reels. To him, she's arranging Friday night. The story of George. George was 58, married for over 3 decades, a high-value man in his business, respected in his community. He trusted his wife, but something gnawed at him. She'd be glued to Instagram, laughing, typing, living in that little glowing screen. At first, George brushed it off. She's just keeping up with friends. But one evening, curiosity clawed too hard. He peeked, and there it was, not casual scrolling, not random memes. No, it was daily conversations with Daniel Fit 92, inside jokes, flirty pictures, secret plans. The affair wasn't in call logs, not in texts. It lived entirely in Instagram DMs. For George, the betrayal was deeper than infidelity. It was realizing the affair had unfolded in a digital world he had never thought to monitor. The warning signs. Don't assume that because her contact list looks clean, her loyalty is too. The modern battlefield is apps, not texts, and the signs are there if you choose to look. She spends excessive time on one app, even when she has no clear reason. She posts less publicly, but scrolls more privately. Notifications pop up and vanish before you can blink. She reads messages instantly, but never mentions them. Don't tell yourself these are random quirks. They're patterns of a parallel life. The critical advice. Now, here's where men go wrong. They start playing hackers. They try to steal passwords or break into phones. Stop. Don't do it. That's desperation. And desperation is the enemy of masculine energy. It makes you look weak, powerless. Instead, be the observer. Watch the patterns. If her so-called fitness buddy keeps her busy, but her workout routine hasn't changed, take note. If her travel friend always pings her at midnight, believe the timestamp, not the excuse. You must understand, social media hiding isn't just about secrecy. It's about constructing an alternate story where you're not part of the script. The longer you ignore it, the more real that story becomes. Final lesson: be alert, be calm, be firm. Don't let yourself be the man who gets blindsided like George. Protect your frame. A high-value man doesn't panic, he observes, he interprets, and he acts decisively. Remember, you don't need her passwords to see the truth. You need awareness, you need confidence, and above all, you need masculine energy. Because when you embody that, you don't just attract women, you also see through them. That's the power of being awake in a world built to distract you. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Sixth, the decoy contact system. Don't dismiss it as paranoia. Don't laugh it off as fantasy. This is one of the most cunning psychological tricks used to hide an affair in plain sight. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us, the man who sees clearly cannot be deceived. And yet too many men fail to see what is right before their eyes. The decoy system works like this: one man, one number, but multiple identities. He becomes the trainer, the nutritionist, the therapist, the massage guy. He wears 3 masks, 4 masks, even more, until your suspicion dissolves into confusion. That is the genius of this trick. It multiplies shadows so you cannot catch the source of the light. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That is Stoicism win, and in modern life, you must train an iron mind to pierce through illusions. Don't believe the surface. Don't accept labels without evidence. Don't assume that just because a contact looks professional, it is professional. In today's world, where people build whole fake lives on social media, why would you think they wouldn't build a fake contact list? The game is not about deleting anymore. It's about multiplying. She doesn't erase the man. She cloaks him in 3 different coats. If you question the trainer, she pivots to the nutritionist. If you press about the nutritionist, she erases him and points to the therapist. And each move makes you hesitate. Each mask makes you doubt your own instincts. That hesitation is the enemy. That doubt is the weakness. Don't allow it. You must build vigilance. You must train clarity. You must anchor your mind in discipline. That is the path of Stoicism, Win. That is how you wield an iron mind. Remember the story of Alan, 44, who thought his girlfriend had a busy wellness routine? He saw trainer, nutritionist, therapist. He accepted it. He rationalized it. He even admired her dedication. But one late night call revealed the truth. The same man answered, the same voice, the same number, just a different label. At that moment, Alan saw the mask shatter. The decoy system is not a myth. It is not rare. It is real. Don't let your life become Alan's story. In the noise of modern relationships, clarity is your weapon. Old Stoic wisdom says, first tell yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. So decide now. Will you live blind or will you see? Don't dismiss the signs. Don't ignore odd patterns. Don't make excuses for late night texts. See the truth, confront it, and master it. That is the iron mind. That is the Stoicism win. And when you master clarity, you master life. Because in the end, victory is not in catching her deception. It is in never being deceived in the first place. Seventh, pet-related disguise. Don't be fooled by the wagging tails and innocent purrs. This is one of the sneakiest psychology tricks in the book. Women know that pets are the ultimate shield because who questions Buddy's groomer or Daisy's vet clinic? It feels safe, harmless, and wrapped in love. But here's the twist. That clinic might not be worried about shots or checkups. It might be her affair partner cleverly tucked away in the disguise of pet care. Female psychology is sharp, strategic, and it understands how to use your blind spots. You must understand this. The human mind loves patterns, and when something looks normal, like a groomer texting about flea treatments, you relax, your guard drops, and you think you're safe. That is exactly how deception hides in plain sight. She can turn every buzz into what looks like an innocent reminder about grooming schedules, when in reality, it's late-night whispers of, "I miss you." Marcus learned this the hard way. 37, loyal, and in love, he trusted his girlfriend completely, especially with their cat. He thought cat boarding service was just another routine contact. But one day, curiosity pushed him to call the number. No recorded message, no receptionist, just a man's voice, casual and intimate, saying, "Hey babe, I miss you." That is the moment his world collapsed. Because it wasn't only betrayal, it was betrayal wearing the mask of something they both cherished. Be aware. If her pet-related contacts suddenly become hyperactive, buzzing at odd hours, carrying way more urgency than any real groomer should have, that's not care, that's cover. Don't storm in with accusations and ruin your credibility. Be smart. Test it. Call the so-called clinic yourself. If you don't hear a professional tone, if you get a personal voice instead of a business one, you've just peeled back the disguise. Remember, psychology tricks are powerful tools, and female psychology knows exactly how to exploit trust and love to its advantage. Don't underestimate it and don't ignore the red flags. You must be vigilant because understanding these tactics isn't about paranoia, it's about self-respect. And here's the deeper point. Learning how to spot these signs is also learning how to fall in love wisely. Real love has no need for camouflage, no reason to pretend that a groomer is really a lover. Be alert, be firm, and don't let loyalty blind you to the truth. And if this opened your eyes, drop a comment right now. I will never be fooled by disguises. Hit like, subscribe for more unshakable wisdom, and remember, trust is tested in the small things. Eighth, financial cover-up. Money isn't just paper and numbers, it's sacred ground. Banks, credit unions, tax advisors, these names carry a heavy aura of authority. Society conditions you to back off when it comes to financial matters. And she knows it. That's why this particular trick, the financial cover-up, is so devilishly effective. Think about it. You see Chase Credit Specialist or IRS support flashing across her phone. Your gut tells you not to question it. Who wants to be the overbearing husband prying into his wife's bank calls? Nobody. But that hesitation, that masculine instinct to respect boundaries, is exactly the blind spot she's counting on. Here's the play. She saves her affair partner's number under the disguise of a financial role. Every goodnight text suddenly looks like a loan approval or a tax deadline. Midnight buzzes on her phone. You shrug. Must be paperwork. But it isn't. It's a cover story built on your respect and your restraint. Take Daniel, age 49. His wife's phone kept lighting up with IRS support. He assumed she was juggling forms and filings. He didn't want to interfere. It felt invasive, even disrespectful. But one restless night, curiosity outweighed trust. He dialed back, and the man who answered, no official tone, no badge number, no polite professional script, just a casual hey from another man who wasn't an agent, but a lover. Daniel later admitted that the deepest wound wasn't even the affair itself. It was how easily his trust had been twisted into a weapon. The very thing that made him a high-value man, his sense of respect, his masculine energy, his restraint, was used against him. So what's the lesson? Be smart. Be alert. Financial contacts are rare and should be occasional. They come during business hours, not midnight. They send monthly statements, not good night, beautiful. If her so-called advisor is texting after hours, that's not finance. That's manipulation wrapped in a suit. Don't confront blindly. Don't explode without evidence. That only makes you look weak. Instead, verify. Search the company. Call the number during the day. Listen for professionalism. If it goes straight to voicemail with no company greeting, you're staring at a cover-up. Remember this, women are clever at creating smokescreens. And if you want to attract women who respect you, or keep the one you've got honest, you must stay sharper than the tricks. Be the man who notices patterns. Be the man who doesn't let politeness blind him. That is what separates a naive husband from a high-value man. When you carry masculine energy the right way, you don't have to shout or accuse. You investigate quietly, confirm, and then confront with facts. That calm, unshakable confidence, that's power. That's how you protect yourself, your dignity, and your future. So, gentlemen, take note. Money may be sacred, but your self-respect is holier. Never let IRS support whisper you into silence. Don't hand over your peace of mind on a silver platter, and never forget, if something feels off, it probably is. Ninth hobby and self-improvement mask. Don't be fooled. Don't get distracted. Don't let your guard down. When a woman hides behind hobbies, fitness, or personal growth, it looks innocent, even admirable, but it can be the most dangerous disguise of all. Old Stoic wisdom reminds us what looks like virtue may be the perfect shield for vice. She saves his number as yoga instructor, piano coach, or Spanish tutor, and you clap your hands thinking she's leveling up. But what she's really doing is building a second life, brick by brick, behind your trust. That's not self-improvement, that's self-deception, that's not progress, that's betrayal, and you must see it for what it is. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Apply it. Don't just watch the pattern, read the pattern. No yoga instructor sends late-night hearts. No Spanish tutor checks in daily like a lover. No art teacher keeps whispering long after class is done. That is not teaching, that is intimacy." Kevin, 55, thought he was watching his wife grow smarter with Spanish lessons. He bragged, he glowed with pride. But one call to that tutor exposed the whole illusion. Another man's voice, another man's laugh, another man who thought Kevin was calling his girlfriend. That pain cut deep because pride had been weaponized against him. Remember, betrayal always hides inside what looks safe. And in modern life, the most powerful camouflage is self-improvement. Because society applauds it, friends encourage it, and you, blinded by good intentions, cheer for it. Don't. Not without caution, not without clarity. Stoicism win comes from seeing things as they are, not as you wish them to be. Build an iron mind. An iron mind does not get seduced by appearances. An iron mind tests everything. Look at the timing of the texts. Look at the frequency. Look at the excuses. When the coach talks to her more than her best friend, you are not looking at personal development. You are looking at personal betrayal, and you must face it. Don't be naive. Don't be careless. Don't hand over your trust without proof. Let's be blunt. Life is a battlefield, and deception is a weapon. If you want to win, you need vigilance, not wishful thinking. You need discipline, not blind pride. Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." So prepare. Prepare your mind. Prepare your instincts. Don't fight with anger, fight with awareness. Don't collapse under betrayal. Stand taller because you saw it coming. In this world, mastering your emotions and sharpening your perception is not optional, it's survival. That is Stoicism win. That is victory. That is the way of the iron mind. So now you've seen it. 9 different disguises, 9 ways she can hide an entire relationship in plain sight. From work contacts to family names, from apps to emergency doctors, from social media to fake tutors, each move is designed to do the same thing: blind you with trust while she builds another life right under your nose. And here's the brutal truth: affairs don't survive because women are smarter. They survive because men stop paying attention. You don't need to be paranoid. You don't need to check her phone every hour. What you need is awareness. Patterns are louder than excuses. If the timing is always suspicious, if the contacts multiply without reason, if the conversations never line up with reality, those aren't accidents, they're signals. But listen carefully. Your goal isn't to catch her red-handed. That's the rookie mistake. Your goal is to protect yourself emotionally, to see the game for what it is, and to decide whether you want to keep playing. Because once you recognize the patterns, you'll never unsee them. And maybe that's the hardest part. Realizing the person you trusted most was never just managing her phone, she was managing you. So the question is simple. Now that you know the 9 hiding spots, are you willing to ignore them? Or are you ready to open your eyes? My advice? Don't let blind trust turn into self-destruction. Pay attention, not with paranoia, but with clarity. Protect your peace, protect your heart, and don't be afraid to walk away from a game that was never fair to begin with. Thanks for watching, my friends. Stay sharp, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next video.